Hello guys, TKG's here. For your comfortable Lost-like life, in this video, I'd like to cover the Slayer class. As the last guy was asked about the KL server statistic and common build and experience, so I thought it'd be great to share some of the tips and builds for your Lost-like journey. Maybe it'd be great to use this video as a reference to build your own Slayer. Now follow me, I'll show you what you need. Before going into the main part, one thing you gotta know, this video and build are based on statistic and common experience of the KL server right now. So, some of the build engraving can be a little bit different with the global server preference. And as the Lost Ark always try to fix the balance between the class by classes, so in the future, some of the build can be changed too. So watch this video with those considerations and use this video and build as your reference to your Lost Ark journey. Let's start with the most basic of the Slayer. Slayer class was released on January 18th, 2023 on KL. She's about more than 8 months since the release, so most of the class build is now well formalized. More like most of the variation is now all gone, only the formal, moderate build left. And some of the cheaper build and settings now exist on KL right now. Class engraving I'm going to cover in this video is Toranja, known as Punisher on global. Punisher class engraving is more like an igniter sorceress. During her identity activation, burst mode will give her a lot of useful buff. So her key or like core DPS is come from her identity activation. So just like the other identity reliant classes, she is requires high level of specialization for the better performance on the most of the raid. So more like the class that pour everything at short identity uptime. As you might expect, her main combat stat is specialization with swiftness stat. And gotta be honest, she is one of those bag attack type class. So naturally, she used the entropy gear set for stable and better performance inside of the raid. But unlike using the additional stat as swiftness, she has a quite decent critical rate itself, with her entropy, bag attack, her self-critical stat, adrenals, rage or burst mode, so total about 60 to 70% critical rate is guaranteed itself, so you don't have to worry that much about the critical rate. In engraving, Grudge, Raid Captain, Ambush Master, Punisher is fixed to use, and in that curse though, you can replace it with the Kimblom weapon. Personally, if you wish to reach the ceiling with her performance, Curse Though and Adrenals is recommended to use, and it is most decent to use it right away. For those who want to use the Kimblom weapon, you need some requirements. In order to get the Kimblom weapon damage increase factor for the entropy class, you need to fulfill the requirements of the critical rate. In my personal experience, if you wish to get about 16% damage increase factor as using Kimblom weapon, you need at least about 90 to 94% critical rate for the full performance, which looks a little intricate. So if you wish to use the Kimblom weapon on your Slayer, try to use it with level 3 Adrenals for better or nice performance. It is not a bad choice, so the choice is yours. Unlike the specialization build character, she is quite capable and can be controlled easily on many situations. Quite pretty handy on most of the plays. And above all, she is really capable at huge damage performance, maybe more than you expect. So most of the gameplay with her, you might feel great on damage performance. And one more good thing about her is that she has a nice and easy mechanism. Most of the mechanic is quite easy to know and understand, and can be utilized very easily. So she is great for the beginners. Just as you expect, her damage performance is really to rely on the identity. Gotta be honest, for more extreme expression, she is almost nothing with the identity. And this may be more than you expect. Might be disappointed about this mechanic too. As a dev called this as a break of the huge performance, her damage performance might be dropped very much without the identity itself. Above all, her skill, most of the skill is consistent with well, let me explain it with more Korean ways. Palsade, like a launch pad for the burst mode. So that means you have to use the main skill to perform the stagger, destruction, counter. In other words, in order to participate in the gimmick as a Slayer, you need to memorize the gimmick's timing in a whole raid and use your skill in the exact timing. Or you have to be like, oh whatever, other guys will do the damage. So, the choice is yours. Besides, Punisher Slayer is still popular on KL server right now. I think the popularity of the Slayer can be summarized like this: good appearance, decent damage performance without fully understanding her skills, alongside with the easy mechanic management. And actually, it is quite easy to access for the beginners too, due to her easy mechanic management. She is possible to pick it up and play right away. In order to perform, let's say with the Korean ways, mechanic cycle, I mean more comfort to managing the identity and its skills. You need at least 1800 to perform a smooth one mechanic cycle, but that will cost pretty a lot, right? So personally, for the first starter or first builder or whatever, try to make at least 1600 to 1700 for 1.5 mechanic cycle. Otherwise, you really have to wait long time to filling up the identity itself. I'm serious. Try to fill these requirements. My recommendation? Well, try to use the 1600 to 1700 on relic section and then upgrade to 1800 when you decide to raise her to ancient or to our main character level. Core mechanic of the Slayer is focus and burst mode or rage mode, almost similar with the identity supply classes. So fill up your identity meter with the focus tripod or some mixed skills and pour everything while the identity are active. Her skill composition can be categorized like this: identity supply part and the damage dealing skill part. One specific thing of the Slayer skill composition is that her counter and the synergy is integrated into one part. Yep, with the wild stomp. So sometimes you have to choose your next move a little more carefully. Like if you wish to participate in the gimmick, you need to save it for the next, or you could just leave those gimmicks to the rest of your teammates. The choice is yours. However, I recommend you to be in a role in that gimmick, because it's a team game, right? We gotta end this homework fast. Ground Smash, Spinning Sword is a typical identity supply skill, so actually it doesn't need that explanations. Gyodin, Brutal Impact, Volcanic Eruption, Furious Claw is a main DPS skill on the identity uptime. One special thing you gotta know is that is about Gyodins. Gyodin is a backbone of the Slayer. And have you ever heard about the Doomsday Identity Doomsday combo in Igniter? Gyodin also can do that while the identity is active. But just that combo in the Igniter, you need to fill up requirement first. First, you need to be more than Swiftness 600 and more than level 7 cooldown gem. Full quick prep tripod. But gotta be honest, in this part is that level 7 Crimson Gem really barely fits the cooldown. I mean really, barely fits the cooldown. So in order to be in a safe in that identity uptime, you need more than level 8 to 9 or with more swiftness stat. In my personal experience, about 700 or higher was safe. Also, you can choose the Gyodin tripod as your preference between the immediate use or the charge use. Both are really preference. If you are the guys that love to utilize the charging skill, it is good to use this tripod too. Furious Claw is a multi-role skill. It can be used on identity supply and also can be used on damage dealing. Wild Rush is a flexible skill and it is quite handy on many situations, like get in and get out, more like the skill that supplement of the Slayer's movements. And I can guarantee that this skill is really handy. Her skill build can be summarized by this text box. For the better damage performance, you need to leveling the tripod in the damaging skill, and then for the smooth identity supply, you need to raise the focus tripod. Sounds obvious, right? Leveling both tripod is quite recommended for better performance in every raid. And for the one rage 2 Gyodin, you need to raise the quick prep tripod of the Gyodin 2. Volcanic Eruption first tripod is not necessary on leveling. It is more like a tripod that can be used on relocating, so leveling is not necessary. Gem tripod priority can be summarized like this. Gotta be honest, long cooldown Slayer has a quite nice value on the Crimson cooldown gem. More or less cooldown, Slayer value will be more go up. Recommendation on Awakening skill is Ragnar Break. I think this is the most typical and representative awakening skill. And the reason I think is quite simple. Saying like KR community, Ragnar Break has a great value on Tirapchu, compressing the damage dealing. Short, one hit, and huge damage. I think the best advantage of the Slayer is a damage. Really, damage itself. But there is one really annoying factor. Yep, you need to catch the back of the boss all the time. This might be stressful, but as the Gungang-san mentioned about the entropy will be removed in the future, maybe in the future it might have some less stress, I think. Scale combo has not many things to concern, not much thing special. All you need to do is apply your identity, turn identity, synergy, and damage dealing combo. You need to throw everything in that short period of time. The main part of the Slayer combo is to be flexible while maintaining the big structure. So don't forget, most of the main showtime begins with the identity activation, even the awakening skill. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching everyone, and always thanks for your big support. Hope this video was a little help for your Lost Ark journey. Hope you do well with your Slayer with this video. And of course, if you like my videos, hit the sub for more upcoming infos. I'll come back with more useful infos in the next video.